Why you can't stop worrying. Your ancestors needed it. Imagine standing at the edge of a grassland at dawn, 150,000 years ago. The light is thin, the air is still. You're scanning the tree line, not because you want to, because you have to. Somewhere out there, something might be watching you. A leopard, a rival group, a snake coiled in the tall grass. And the part of your brain that keeps you alive right now is not your strength, it's not your speed, it's your worry. Today, you don't face leopards, you face emails, bills, awkward conversations, decisions about the future. Things you said 5 years ago at a party no one else remembers, and yet your brain responds to all of it exactly the same way it responded to that grassland at dawn, as if your life depends on it. The question is, why can't you stop? And the answer reveals something surprising, not just about your brain, but about every ancestor who stood at that tree line and survived long enough to pass their wiring down to you. Most of us were taught that worrying is a personal failure, a sign that we're not managing our thoughts well enough. That if we just tried harder, meditated more, thought more positively, stayed more present, the worry would stop. But this framing completely misunderstands what worry actually is. Worry is not a bug in your operating system. It is one of the oldest and most successful survival mechanisms ever developed by natural selection. For more than 95% of human history, the individuals who worried survived, and the individuals who didn't, the ones who walked casually into tall grass, who ignored rustling sounds, who never thought about what might go wrong tomorrow, they didn't pass their genes forward. Their calm, untroubled DNA died with them. This brings us back to the central question. If worry is so ancient and so protective, why does it feel so unbearable now? Why does it wake you at 3 a.m.? Why does it spiral into scenarios that never happen? The answer lives in your brain's architecture and in the world it was built for, which is not the world you live in today. Deep inside your temporal lobe sits a structure no bigger than an almond. It's called the amygdala, and it is the oldest alarm system in your brain. When it detects a potential threat, any potential threat, it fires before your conscious mind even knows what it's looking at. This is not a design flaw, it's a design priority. The brain processes potential danger through a dedicated, fast lane that bypasses the slower, more rational prefrontal cortex entirely. The signal travels from your senses directly to your amygdala in roughly 12 milliseconds. Your conscious awareness catches up perhaps 200 milliseconds later. By the time you consciously register that your boss's email sounds angry, your amygdala has already flooded your bloodstream with cortisol. Your heart rate has already increased. Your muscles have already tensed. You are already physiologically preparing to fight or flee, even though you are sitting at a desk. And this is where the architecture of worry reveals itself. The amygdala cannot distinguish between a leopard and a disappointed boss. It cannot distinguish between an approaching rival tribe and an awkward silence at a dinner party. It only knows one thing: potential threat detected. Respond now, ask questions later. This is not a metaphor. Brain imaging studies show that social rejection and physical danger activate nearly identical neural pathways, the same alarm, the same chemical cascade, the same ancient circuitry. But why? Why would evolution wire the brain to treat social threats the same as physical ones? For approximately 300,000 years, our ancestors lived in small, tight-knit groups of perhaps 30 to 50 individuals. These groups were everything. Survival was not an individual project, it was a collective one. If you were cast out, if the group rejected you, you did not simply feel lonely, you died. Alone on the savannah, without the protection of the group, a solitary human being had almost no chance of survival. No one to watch your back while you slept. No one to share food when you couldn't find any. No one to help you fight off predators. Ostracism was not a social inconvenience, it was a death sentence. This is the evolutionary context that shaped your brain's threat detection system. The individuals who were most attuned to social danger, who worried about what others thought of them, who scanned for signs of disapproval, who lay awake at night replaying interactions and trying to predict tomorrow's social landscape, these were the individuals who stayed in the group, who survived, who reproduced, who passed their anxious, vigilant DNA down through the generations. The ones who didn't worry, the ones who never lay awake thinking about what they said or what might happen, they were more likely to make a fatal social mistake, more likely to offend the wrong person, more likely to find themselves outside the group's protection, and outside meant dead. This is what researchers call the smoke detector principle. A smoke detector that occasionally goes off when you burn toast is annoying, but a smoke detector that fails to go off during an actual fire is catastrophic. The cost of a false alarm is irritation. The cost of a missed alarm is death. Your brain is not calibrated for happiness, it is calibrated for survival. And it would rather wake you up 1,000 times for threats that never materialize than miss the one threat that kills you. And this brings us to the mismatch, because the brain your ancestors gave you, this vigilant, worry-prone brain, now lives in a world it was never designed for. Our ancestors worried about a finite set of dangers: predators, food shortages, conflict within the group, the weather, disease. These threats were real, they were immediate, and they were solvable. You could check the tree line, you could move to a safer location, you could resolve the conflict or find new hunting grounds. The worry had a purpose, and the purpose had an endpoint. Today, the threats are infinite and abstract. You can worry about climate change, economic collapse, what someone said about you online, whether you chose the right career, whether you're saving enough for retirement, whether your child will be happy in 20 years, whether that awkward thing you said last week will damage a relationship forever. None of these threats can be resolved by checking the tree line. They cannot be fought or fled. They just sit there in your mind, activating the same amygdala, releasing the same cortisol, triggering the same ancient alarm over and over with no off switch. And modern life is engineered to amplify this. Social media provides an endless stream of social evaluation, likes, comments, follower counts, each one a miniature social judgment delivered directly to the same brain that once worried about being exiled from the tribe. The news cycle is a fire hose of threats from every corner of the planet, most of which you can do nothing about. Your phone delivers all of it constantly into your pocket. You are not broken. Your environment is unprecedented, and your brain is doing exactly what 300,000 years of evolution designed it to do, scanning for danger in a world where the dangers never stop coming. So here is the question that matters most. If your brain is wired to worry, and the modern world is wired to trigger that worry endlessly, what do you do about it? The first step is not to fight the worry. Fighting it, trying to suppress it, trying to think your way out of it, trying to logic away the anxious thoughts, only makes it stronger. This is because your brain interprets your resistance as further evidence that the threat is real. If you're this distressed about the worry itself, the brain reasons, the original threat must have been serious. The first step is understanding. Understanding that your anxiety is not a personal defect. It is a feature of being human, a feature that kept every single one of your ancestors alive long enough to produce you. When you feel the worry rise at 3 a.m., you are feeling the legacy of 100,000 generations of survivors. Every anxious thought is, in its own strange way, a gift from someone who lived long enough to pass it to you. This reframe changes everything. You stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start asking, "What is my brain trying to protect me from?" You stop treating the worry as an enemy and start treating it as an overprotective guardian, one that means well, but does not understand that the threat is an email, not a leopard. The second step is to give the brain what it needs to stand down. Your amygdala does not respond to logic, it responds to safety signals. Deep breathing signals safety. Physical presence of trusted people signals safety. Predictable routines signal safety. Movement, walking, running, stretching, signals to your ancient brain that you have responded to the threat, that you are taking action, that the danger has been addressed. These are direct interventions at the level of your nervous system. They speak the language your amygdala understands, a language far older than words, a language for your ancestors, the people who sense the shift in group dynamics before anyone else, the people who lay awake thinking about tomorrow because tomorrow for them was genuinely uncertain. They survived, and they gave you their brain. The challenge now is not to eliminate worry, it is to update it, to teach this ancient brain that the rustling in the grass is now a notification on a screen, that the threat of exile is now an awkward social moment that will be forgotten by tomorrow, that the catastrophe it's preparing for most of the time will never arrive. Your worry is not your enemy, it is your inheritance. And once you understand it, you can begin to live with it differently. If you enjoyed this journey into humanity's past, subscribe to Ash and Origins for more stories exploring the archaeology, anthropology, history, and human experiences that shaped who we are today.